One of the highlights of this program is that it is gender specific for 6 women. In many treatment programs, you will see up to 20 or 30 women in a group, or 20 or 30 people in a group. We specifically limit our groups to no more than 6 women so that every woman gets a tremendous amount of personal attention. It's real easy for people to get lost in the shuffle in large treatment programs because they tend to sit back and become observers, and it's so difficult to deal with material that's painful or experiences that are difficult. So in our program, it's very conducive to opening up because you really get to know people at a very intimate level because there's not 30 people, there's only 6. The advantage of dual diagnosis treatment is that it treats coexisting psychiatric conditions along with chemical dependency issues. And if a program is only offering 12-step recovery, they're not really dealing with the in-depth level to resolve psychiatric or emotional issues. My theory is that a relapse in one causes a relapse in another. So if you really want to help somebody stay sober, you treat the underlying depression, anxiety, mood swings, phobias, as well as give them all of the tools to stay sober. So we would typically recommend a minimum 30-day stay, but we have a preference for 60 or 90 days because it just gives us more time to really help the individual establish a solid recovery plan. We offer alternative sentencing, and being a former deputy probation officer for Los Angeles County of almost 11 years, it's a viable option to jail or prison. So basically, what we want to do is convince the court that people will not only no longer be a danger to the community, such as somebody who's driving drunk, but that they will benefit more from learning how to stay sober than they will from merely being locked up. This is very advantageous to the individual and to the county and state. Depending on the circumstances, we would either offer a letter that an individual or his or her attorney would take to court, or we would physically accompany our client to court if that would be helpful. Alcoholism and addiction are really considered chronic, manageable diseases. Chronic in that it doesn't go away. Manageable in that if you do not drink or use, you will not suffer the consequences of drinking or using. And if you think about it, there's very few diseases that you get that option. People with cancer or diabetes don't have that option, that all they have to do is just not drink or use and they won't suffer the consequences. But believe it or not, you can tell an alcoholic, don't drink and you won't suffer, and they'll go out and drink. And ultimately that's because alcoholism and addiction is really a disease of the brain. People learn that because alcohol and drugs feel good, the brain reinforces that people keep taking them. So ultimately, people are fighting against their own brain. We believe in the benefits of a 12-step recovery program mainly because it works. The 12-step recovery is really a social support system. They recognize that you need other people. You can't do this alone. And so 12-step recovery gives you an advantage of working with other people who have already achieved what you are now trying to accomplish. One of the main benefits of individual psychotherapy is it gives a person a confidential, safe forum in which to discuss and resolve issues that they would never deal with in their entire life. Many people that have gone through trauma try basically to just shake it off, pretend it didn't happen, and it's impossible to do that. So one of the advantages of individual psychotherapy is that it gives people not only a chance to process and resolve issues, but it gives them the problem-solving abilities to learn how to overcome different things that have happened in their lives. Group therapy is important because people relate with one another. And a lot of times people think that their problem or their situation or their shame is the worst. And by being with other people, they realize that everyone shares the unfortunate common denominator of hurting. No one is an alcoholic, addict, or related to an alcoholic or addict and immune from hurting. Everybody is suffering in a different way. So group therapy helps people recognize that they're not alone, they're not that odd, that other people are going through the same things that they go through. Family therapy is important because it helps family members to resolve issues that they otherwise would not resolve. The typical position of most family members is everything is fine. We don't want to rock the boat, we don't want to interfere with your recovery, but in reality, the alcoholic addict needs to know the truth. They need to know how their behaviors have affected the people that they love and that love them. All treatment programs are individualized according to the client's needs. We don't believe in just throwing people in where they're not going to get any benefit. We will tailor-make a program to meet the needs of the specific client. When spouses are available, it's really important to do marital therapy because any change in one person affects a change in another person. And again, spouses tend to not want to rock the boat, but issues need to be resolved, so we love doing marital therapy. The importance of a family support group is that it allows people to work through issues within the family system and also helps other family members to see how they are affected and will many times give certain people who are not as assertive the courage to open up as they see other family members identifying issues that they have also experienced.